AI5GT, clear.
Good evening, ham radio operators, and welcome to the weekend wind down net. Before we get going, is there any emergency or priority traffic in this frequency? Alright, well, this is Ernesto, KI5, PZN, that's Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November, and I am your net controller for this net. This net is heard through the University Link Repeater System, KA5D, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Repeater System, M50AK. If you're using the University Link Repeater System, make sure your tone is set to 97.4. If you're using the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Repeater System, set your tone to 114.8. If you are outside of Austin, we would love to hear from you. The way to get in is the Echo Link by connecting to KA5D-R or N50AK-R. You can also reach us via All-Star by connecting to node number 51444. 51444. The weekend wind down is a Rack 2 net. We get together on Sunday nights to talk about the weekend. You watch TV, you work on a project, barbecue, or were you stuck at home catching up in chores? Ham relator or not, tell us, was your weekend a blast or a bust? Please note this is a directed net, so please refer all calls to net control. Don't forget to leave room between check-ins and transmissions to allow for any emergency traffic. We're using the University Link Repeater System and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Repeater System. Big thanks to Kyle, KA5D, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club for letting me use the repeater system for this net. To learn more about the University Link Repeater System, please visit ka5d.com. If you would like more information about the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, including how to become a member and how to join the club's Discord server, go to m50ak.org. It's free to join the club. Let's start the weekend wind down net with the segment called Discord Dish, where we serve up our favorite Discord posts from the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Discord server. We got a bunch of stuff this week, very interesting things. There was a post on the general channel by Bill M5SMO, and it's a link to a video of famous hams through history. Very, very interesting. A bunch of them I didn't know who they are because I live in a different planet, but very cool for the ones that I recognize. I have no idea, so that's very cool to see. I wonder who else, or I always wonder if very famous people are using, I guess their real name and nobody knows who they are right now and they're out there, but that's just me wondering. We do have also an 11-meter channel, because why not? And there's a lot of activity on that channel. You should check it out. Guys are talking all kinds of stuff on radios and many things. It's it's radio, so it's fun either way, whether it's TV or ham radio. It's still fun. Go and check it out. We have a channel for that as well. Fox hunt, we were doing hidden transmitter hunt this weekend. Sky and 5LX is hosting this weekend. I'm not sure if the hunt is over. But there was a hunt this weekend, and people were out there making it happen. Thanks again to Sky for hosting the Fox this weekend and for the guys participating. But usually the information gets posted on the Fox Hunt channel, and the map as well gets published on that channel, on Fox Hunt's channel. So if you're interested in that, it's again great place to go and look for more information. On the Aries channel, we have a channel for the Aries group. They have an activity on Saturday the 26th, so that's coming up soon, where they're going to be upgrading laptops in some hospitals, and they are looking for volunteers. So if you are interested in helping out, you can check that out on the Aries channel on Discord, and you can ping Glenn W5MTR Mike Tango Romeo W5 Mike Tango Romeo, and he is in charge of that. He could definitely use some volunteers. So that's on the 26th of this month. It's a Saturday, and it starts at 10 a.m. So check that out, and if you can help, that would be rad. CW channel, we have a CW channel. If you're in New Ham, we're talking about Morse code. Bill and 5SMO posted a very cool link to a daily Morse code challenge. It takes you to a website, and the word is spelled out or is transmitted at, I think it's 40 words per minute is the beginning, the starting speed, and then you have to try to guess the word, and each time you repeat it, it slows it down until you finally get it. If you get it, I started playing that today. It was a lot of fun, and it got hooked. So I had to wait till tomorrow to do it again because it's a daily challenge. So go check that one out. It's a lot of fun, and that's on the CW channel, and was posted by Bill and 5SMO. Thanks, Bill, for posting that neat link there. All right. Parks on the air, the guys are always, even though it's hot, the guys find ways to get out there and activate parks. I know David, K7TVA, was thinking about activating balcones, Canyonlands. I think it was last week. I don't know if you got to do that or not, but the guys are always doing stuff up there, so go and check it out, Parks on the Air, if you are into that. We have a bunch of guys who are very active on Parks on the Air. Another channel that I always tell people to go and check it out, even if you are not planning on building one right now, or if you don't need one, is the Antenna channel. That channel is really, really good because there's always discussions about all kinds of issues related to antennas, and you get to learn a lot from the guys who are really knowledgeable on this. So I always go and check it out, and you always learn something. And if you have any questions or you're working on the project, great place to go and ask questions because the guys are really, like I said, really awesome. They do know a lot of this subject. So the Antenna channel is always a good one to go and check out. The last one I'm going to mention here is the SwapNet channel. And boy, oh boy, there's so many things there for sale, people looking for equipment. There's a whole bunch of free stuff. So if you are into free stuff, go and check it out. There's a bunch of stuff. Neat things. I mean, I'm talking about good stuff that you could use. But that's the Swap channel on Discord. The post that I picked for this week, again, if you're not part of the Discord, you should try it. It's free. You can go and check that out. Go to n5oak.org, and you can scroll down and click on the button to join the Discord, and we have all kinds of channels on that server. And like I said, anything ham related, you will find a channel for that particular subject. And as you know, there's way too many things to do in ham radio, so keep that in mind. And also, it also helps to stay up to date with what's going on in the ham community in this area. All the get-togethers and everything gets published there. So check it out, n5oak.org. Scroll down and join the Discord fun. The Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Old Kilometer Radio Club repeater system. Well, I had a good weekend. Started Friday, did some work over there at the house, the nonprofit, did some of that, and then Saturday, breakfast as usual, and that group is getting bigger each week, so that makes me very happy. We're already halfway through that big room that we usually hang out there. After the pandemic, we had like 1 or 2 tables, if that, and right now it's a big group, so that's really fun. And I'm talking about the Waterloo Ice House breakfast that we do every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. We get there around 8 a.m. and we stay there for a few hours. So if 8 o'clock in the morning is too early, you can go, a little bit later. But we stay there for a few hours, and it is a lot of fun. You get to know a bunch of ham radio operators who've been around for a while. You could bring your questions, and there's people there that would at least, if they don't know the answer, they'll know where to point you to get your answer. And this is happening again on Waterloo Ice House. And that's located on 8600 Burnett Road. That's just south of 183. Every Saturday at 8 a.m. So if you have the chance, don't miss it. It's a lot of fun. So that was, that was Saturday. That was yesterday. Fun every day seems kind of like the same. And then I run the Elmer's Net at 7 p.m. That was a fun net. I had a bunch of people calling in and checking in. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I had a great time doing the trivia, and a great time and a hard time, because I usually have a really hard time reading out loud stuff that I'm not very familiar with, so that was kind of funny. But I had a great time. That was yesterday. Chill for the rest of the evening, and then today, doing a whole bunch of stuff. Started with radio early in the morning, and let's see, I did all kinds of stuff today, all related to work, and took a little break, and now I am running this awesome net. But I'm curious, I wonder how everybody else's weekend went. Let's call for check-ins, but before we do that, let me do a quick ID. You are listening to the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN. On Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Old Kilometer Radio Club repeater system. Alright, well, any licensed operator is welcome to check in. New ham, this net is new ham friendly, so we would love to hear from you. Alright, any mode, anywhere, please call in with your name and call sign.
N5WRW.
That last one after N5WRW was really scratchy. Would you try again, please?
November 5, November Echo, November.
November 5, November, and then it gets really scratchy after that. Please try again, sorry.
November 5, November Echo, November.
Got you, Paul. Alright, who else would like to check in? Please call in with your name and call sign.
This is Whiskey 5 Kilo Yankee Uniform.
KJ5AZP.
Alright, we would also like to check in. Please call in with your name and call sign.
This is KG5TNF, Johnny.
This is
5 Lima X-ray.
A good group here. Let's go and say hi to Dwight. N5WRW. Dwight, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
Oh, pretty good. I got my HF antenna up, sort of, at least temporarily, and it tunes on 8 different bands. Thanks to the tuner in the rig, and then the manual big tuner I've got, I'm getting a really good match on almost everything except 160.
Well, very cool, man. Did you do any contacts on the antenna, or are you just still testing it? Back to you.
Yeah, I spoke to a guy in California and another one in Iowa. There was a contest going on 20 meters, and I took advantage of that.
Oh, very cool, man. Very cool. Did you have to do any special accommodation for the antenna? Was it pretty? Did you have enough room there to put the antenna together? Back to you.
Well, it turns a corner. I'm afraid that the yard isn't quite big enough, but and right now it's not up that high. I'll get my son over here with some ladders, and the problem is the trees that I've got that are high in the back are cedar trees or juniper trees, and they've got a million little branches every place.
Yeah, they sure don't make it easier, and they stay green too during the winter, so there's no help there either on that department. I get some help here during the winter time. I get to move it around because everything is bare. But wow, very cool, man. What's the plan? How high you wanna hang that antenna? Back to you.
I think the tree I'm aiming for is about 30 feet. Give or take, and that would be nice if we could get up in that. The box with the transformer in it is about 8 feet, so it would just be going up from there, which, it's not perfect, but what is, and I don't have an antenna analyzer, so I couldn't tell you exactly where the good spots in the antenna are, but I can get everything down to 1-to-1 almost. I just tune it with my regular 3 kW roller inductor tuner, and then I can get rid of the last little bit by hitting tune on the 7300, and that just flattens it all out.
Cool, man. Yeah, that sounds like it's gonna be good once you get it up there. Mine is not that high, but you get 10 to 12 feet if that, and not in all the areas. So you know how that goes. It could work just fine. It depends on so many things, but very cool, man. It sounds like you got that figured out. When are you guys planning on putting it up? When is your son coming in?
Well, he only lives about 2 miles from me, but maybe next weekend.
Right on. Yeah, that's a job that you probably want to do at like 7 in the morning when the temperature is only 98 degrees. Well, very cool, Dwight. It was good seeing you again on Saturday at breakfast. That group is getting bigger, and it's a lot of fun. Do you have anything else for the net? Back to you.
No, sir. That's about it. That's about as exciting as life gets. N5WRW.
Well, very cool, man. No, I know. I get very excited about about all of this radio stuff, and I don't see it slowing down, so we'll see. Well, very cool, Dwight. I appreciate you checking into the net. It's a pleasure talking to you, man, and we'll be talking throughout the week. Hopefully we'll bump on the repeater. Well, that was Dwight. We're gonna go now and check with Paul, N5NE. And Paul, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
This weekend, first weekend in this new house. My radio station is still at the old place, and I stuck a, I don't even know if it worked, didn't even know it worked. I had a 2-meter antenna stuck on the set of my pickup, and my 5-watt that's what I put my is an 8-foot piece of to a 9-to-1 transformer, and in long wire with an choke at the end of it. I think it's inadequate because my K2 won't put out 10 watts without trying to get a high voltage or high current. So, but take some contacts on 80 meters and 10, 20 meters with it, with the wire about 6 feet off the ground. I used it up, and I don't think that improved it any. Oh well, I'll have to wait till I get my antenna. Caller, I didn't get his name.
All right, Paul. Well, that explains why your signal is it's so much different now. It's really scratchy and really rough, but I knew it was coming, so I have my headphones ready to rock and roll when you call in, so I copy most of what you said there. Very cool, man. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like you have a project in front of you now. After moving all your stuff. And I know doing the setup again, I guess at the beginning, especially with this heat, gets kind of overwhelming. But again, like I was saying earlier, this is, I guess, any antenna work right now, it's something you want to do super early in the morning. But very cool, man. And on CW, well, hopefully it's funny. It's sometimes I'm here before the net on Thursdays. If I'm not participating or running the net, I get on the CW net, but for whatever reason, there's always something happening, and by the time I finish wrapping things up, it's already the FM net is already starting out. So I tend to miss the CW net more than I would like to. Well, very cool, Paul. I hope that everything is going well, and that the situation with the radios get sorted out soon, and we get back to your strong and good signal again. But I'm glad that you have your HD and you're still able to make it to the repeater. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on, Paul?
with my stupid antenna. Until I get a good vertical up, and that'll be the first one I do, because it's easy. Good signal. Anyway, Ernesto from November, Echo November.
Right on, Paul. Yeah, you know, when I was younger, when I was a kid, I think I was a teenager, well, I grew up in Puerto Rico, and that was, back then it was countryside. Now it's more urban, but back then it was really nice skies at nighttime. And I got to experience a good one. I remember it was this cycle, the one that comes out in between August and September. And I remember it was something really, really awesome. I've only done it once, and obviously I live here near downtown, so there's no sky. It's a dark sky here. But I remember it's really cool. If anybody listening, if you have the chance to do that, you should try it. You should try it at least once. It's really cool. It's really interesting. Kind of unreal there. Well, Paul, thanks again for checking into the net. Hopefully we can connect on CW. Say hi to Colleen, man, and hopefully we'll get to hang out soon. Let me do a quick ID here before I get in problemas with the feds. You are listening to the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. We were talking to Paul, and now we're going to go and talk to Car, W5KYU. Car, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
Hey, Ernesto. I am doing fine. I'm just trying to get used to a new device, a new radio.
Very cool. What kind of radio do you have right now? What's the new kid on the block?
Oh, the new radio is a Yaesu STM 500.
So a mobile radio, right? That's not an HC. Back to you.
Yeah, I was trying to do the HT and the amp thing, but I kind of failed in getting that going last week. I actually got dud of an amp, so I had to send it back to DX Engineering.
So you changed your mind and you have an HT now, but you didn't get the amp, but then you got a mobile radio. Back to you.
I got the amp, but I didn't send. I tried to talk on it last week, and I thought I was transmitting, but nobody was hearing anything.
Interesting. What's the power on that amp? Back to you.
The amp was supposed to be 35 for just VHF, and I guess this mobile is like 50, so I guess I upgraded in power.
Yeah, man, I thought you were going to say like you were going to be pushing like 150 watt with that amp, but if it's 35 and you're switching to a mobile, you're better off if you have up to 50, and your audio is really good. Well, man, congratulations on the new radio. Are you planning on keeping it at your QTH, or are you planning on installing it on your vehicle, or are you planning on doing like Rusty? He's got his radio on like a Go box, and he just takes it with him and puts the antenna on the car, and he's always ready to rock and roll. What's the plan with the new radio? Back to you, Kyle.
Actually, the goal is number 3. Put it in a box. I'm thinking of ideas for that.
Well, very cool. You should ping Rusty, WZ5ABS, the president of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. He's got a Yaesu. It's not the same radio. It's got an FTM 300 on a Go box with battery and everything. And like I said, he just brings it to his truck. And I think he's got the antenna, the mag mount antenna might be already in the truck. I can't remember, but he never leaves the radio on the truck, and he can use it also at the house, which is it's a really good idea, because you get the best of both worlds, and you always have a good good radio with you. So that's I would ping him on Discord, and I'm sure he won't mind sharing pictures of that setup. When did you get the new radio? Back to you.
Just talk to the Oak. That's my main place to be these days.
Right on. When did you get the new radio? Back to you.
Oh, I just got it this week.
Well, very cool, man. Congratulations. Like I said, did you do any radio this weekend? Anything fun radio related? Back to you.
I'm still reading the manual, but I think I have it on like the medium power setting, and I think the Oak was the only repeater that I can hit with my HT, and now, I mean, not that the Oak was bad, but I like to hear some other stations too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, what antenna do you have for that radio? Back to you.
It's just a mobile antenna, like a magnet mount. It's the Diamond MR77.
Very cool. Now, do you have the ability where you live to put an outside antenna for your radio and like a mast or something like that? Back to you.
I'm definitely considering that, and I think last time I talked, we talked about maybe something in the attic too. I'm just not want to put anything too permanent either in my vehicle or actually even in my yard. So.
Well, right on. Yeah, first setup here was a mobile radio that I have 50 watts like that one. Then I got the antenna that I use now. It's a Tram 1480, and I bought it at Home Depot out of all the places. Home Depot sells those antennas. It's dual bander. And I have it up there like I don't know, maybe 35 feet on a push-up mast. And that thing works really well. And that's all I have, 50 watts on the previous radio and on this one too for 2 meters. So something to consider, because that will give you way more range. And if you want to do simplex, absolutely. If you have an outside antenna and you have it way up there, you could get out there on simplex and also hit other repeaters that perhaps you're not able to hit right now. But that's a game changer once you put an antenna out there and you try to get some high on the antenna for sure. Back to you.
Appreciate that advice. I'm still learning and not know exactly what I want to do with everything. So, but I'm just collecting the pieces and just trying different things.
Yeah, man, don't feel bad. We all start the same way. I haven't been a ham for that long, a couple of years only, and I feel now that I'm finding my niche on the on the radio. Like I was all over the place. I tried all the things, all the bands, all of the things that you could do on ham radio except for digital. And yeah, you'll find your spot, and then once you feel comfortable, you start getting the equipment or whatever and again, that might also change because this is an always evolving type of hobby. So very cool, man. We were really happy that you joined the club and are part of the ham club community. Do you have anything else for the NetCom before we move on?
That's all I have today. Always nice checking in with you. Okay. 73.
It's always a pleasure talking to you, and don't be shy. You can always, call on the repeater throughout the week. There's people out there listening, and you can always get a good conversation going. All right, if you just turn on your radio and you don't know what's going on, you're listening to the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN. We're here on Sunday nights at 7:30 via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. We were talking to Ka, and now we're going to go and check with Jim, KJ5AZP. Jim, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
So far, so good. You guys getting me well?
Yeah, I can copy you well, man. You got a good signal going on. Are you using your radio, or are you coming in through Echo Links? Back to you.
Radio right now. Decided to come hang out outside. Let me and Poppy just hang out here for a little bit. I don't know why. some fun today with electronics. Had to replace the SSD in my laptop, and when they put the thing together a couple years ago at the factory, they had to tighten the one screw down to a point that we literally had to needle-nose pliers it out of the computer. But after all that fun, it seems to be working fine now, so I finally got a dedicated PC for more radio stuff, since the virtual machine's being weird, but, you know.
Well, very cool, man. I know that you like to tinker with computers, and right now with radios, which is really cool. So that's the one that you're gonna have with all of your radios once you get your shack all in place. Back to you.
Anyway, I don't know. Things always change. You never know.
No, I was saying it's always evolving thing. Have you been getting on the repeater? Have you done any radio in the last few days? Back to you, Jim.
I meant to on Friday, but got busy and didn't get a chance to, and wanted to check in last night on the Elmer's net, but again got busy. But I was like, hey, I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna go try to jump in tonight. So.
I'm very glad you did, and you have a really good signal today. Whatever spot you pick to transmit, it's doing the thing. It's really good. It's full quiet here on the repeater. You got any plans for the week, or is it a working week for you? Back to you.
Working week. Definitely will be there Saturday for breakfast. But yeah, so not much else there.
Well, right on, Jim. Appreciate you checking into the net. And say hi to, oh my goodness, I'm drawing blank here because I am getting old. To Chloe. Yay, my brain worked. All right, man. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
Well, I did want to say thanks for your suggestion on sending a message out to the Discord on the Antennas channel. I did that. Bill got back to me, and I have to figure out how to get back to him. I want to answer him, but Discord is weird sometimes with on the iPhone with accessibility stuff. But I'll figure it out. I'm not ignoring him. I hope he knows that. But I'll get back to him soon. But thanks for letting me know that, and we'll get some sort of situation figured out when that time comes. I'll even see if anybody can come help out. I don't know. I just want to be able to not have to be out here in 10,000 degree heat, as we know. But it is what it is. Thanks.
Yeah, no, man, absolutely. And Bill, he knows a lot. I'm gonna ping him and see if he's got an email that he would like to share, and if that's the case, I'll put you guys in contact. But when it comes to the antenna installation, just ping us on Discord, or you got my number and my email. You can shoot me an email, a message, and we'll put a group of good people together, and we'll go and take care of that. Because then now it's hot and then it's gonna get cold, so we want you to be a comfortable ham, my friend. So, Jim, do you have anything else before we move on? Back to you.
Not that I can think of, but glad I could check in. Thanks so much, KJ5AGP.
All right, my friend. You have an awesome week, and we'll be talking soon. And again, say hi to Chloe, and we'll be chatting. All right, that was Jim. Now we're gonna go and check with Johnny, KG5TNF. Johnny, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
Good evening, Mr. Vice President. Everything is going well. I was wondering, you had mentioned parks on the air earlier. Could you repeat that information again? I was going to jot it down on my notepad.
Yeah, man, I was talking about the Discord channel. We have a Discord channel for Parks in the Air. So if you want to get there, you can sign in by going to n5oak.org. And you can scroll down scroll down the page until you see the Join Discord. You can click on that button, and that will take you to the server. So Discord is an app that you can download on your phone, and you can also download it on your computer. I have them both. I have it on my phone. I have an Android, but I know they also make them for iPhone. But I have an Android, and I also have the app on my computer, my laptop, which runs on Windows. So it's super easy to use. But that's where the guys are usually letting people know where they are and all of the shenanigans happening in town. Back to you, Johnny.
Oh, very good. I got that jotted down, and I will definitely have fun getting that set up and finding out what's going on Discord. It's like once you open your Discord app and you're kind of like doing text messages back and forth. Is that what it is?
Well, once you open it, you will see all of the channels, and once you click on whatever channels you want to get to, then you see the posting, everybody's post out there, and you can reply to the post. You can also do direct messages, but most of the conversation happens on the actual channel. Like, for example, if you log in, if you had it open right now, we have a channel for the Wind Down Net. If you click on that, then you see what people are typing there. Like right now, there's a message there from Pat W5WTH, and he is listening to the net all the way from Puerto Rico through Echolink. So it's a really nice. Hello, Pat. It's a very nice app, man. And like I say, there's a bunch of channels. And there's like one channel for every single flavor of ham radio. Like whatever we do on ham radio, there's a channel there, and you'll find the people that are into it on that channel. And it's great for questions as well. Back to you, Johnny.
Oh, see channels. Very good. Okay, I'm getting the hang of how to interact with it. Very fun. Let's see, yesterday, well, first of all, I told you and the other guys, I've got a part-time job for Meals on Wheels. And I was talking to somebody, well, it doesn't make any difference where it was. I think it was a 145, 110 repeater. Paige is her name. And we were chit-chatting about retirement and doing stuff. She was really active doing stuff. And anyway, a guy wanted to make a comment, and I ended up talking with one of my Meals on Wheels friends. We call them neighbors if we serve them meals, whether they come to me and eat it at the community center or if it's taken to their home. Our customers, if you will, are called neighbors. Anyway, he made a comment and wanted to say hi to me and say that he really appreciated Meals on Wheels up in his area, which was Port Townsend, Washington. He was K6RQR. And I really had fun. I thought that was pretty cool, talking to him about my Meals on Wheels nonprofit company. I'm going to see one of the Meals on Wheels people tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to saying, I talked to somebody in Port Townsend, Washington that loves Meals on Wheels. Well, that's about it. Back to you.
Yeah, man, no, it's the beauty of this hobby. You never know you're going to be talking on the other side of the coax. I've met some very, very interesting people. Holy smoke. I mean, especially those breakfasts, because you get to talk a little bit more and, you know, get a little bit more personal on the conversations. And, man, it's been nothing but interesting people, friendly and interesting, and just the variety of subjects and things that you get to hear. So it always amazes me. Obviously, I like talking to people. I'm a talker, and I do enjoy this hobby because of that. I mean, you hear of professions or, you know, people doing stuff for a living that you have no idea that was a thing, and it's just so many times that I get surprised. And, you know, I have a head cover of gray hair, and my beard's almost white. So it's not like I've been around for a while, and I still get really, really excited because I'm still learning, and not only about radio but about life, because you get to meet so many interesting folks in this hobby. Well, Johnny, really happy to hear that things are going well and you're staying active on the radio. I'm glad that you are connected to all the local repeaters, and you get to enjoy the hobby more now than when you were doing it in the past. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, I won't tie it up any further. I'll go ahead and clear on out. I'm actually going to go next door. My neighbors are out of town, and I'm not sure where their light switch is inside the house. I need to go into the house and flip a light on and go into their little backyard area and water their pretty little tree plants they have outside. So I will say 73s to you and everybody else. KG5 TNF clear.
Hi, Johnny. Thanks again for checking into the net tonight. Word of advice here is when you go to your neighbor's house, try not to take too long with the flashlight looking for that switch, because the police might show up and ask you questions if somebody sees you walking around with a flashlight. Well, that was Johnny, KG5TNF, and he checked into the net, and I appreciate you doing that, man. All right, let's do a quick ID so that we stay legal. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. We're going to go now and check with my friend Sky N5LX. Sky, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
This is N5LX. I'm doing pretty good, Ernesto, and thanks for hosting your awesome net. Are you hearing okay, by the way?
Pretty good audio, man. Back to you.
All right, thank you, sir. So hello to everybody out there. I always enjoy listening to people and what they're hearing, what they're up to. Yeah, let's see. This weekend has been a really good one, and I'm thankful for that. I put a fox out for the weekend. I just got back from retrieving the transmitter, and it looks like there were 4 successful fox hunters, and I hope they had a good time. It was a pretty good spot, but I've been thinking I think from now on, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet, but I was thinking I might refrain from posting the maps and the locations after the hunt. Instead of, I've been posting maps and pictures. Close-up pictures are okay, but the reason I was thinking that is maybe I want to reuse some of those locations at some point. So if it's not on the Discord server, it might be new if there are new people, it wouldn't give it away. But anyway, so I got to go to the Old Man Breakfast, and I always really enjoy that. That's super, meeting all those people. And you're right, man, there's a lot of people there showing up to those things. I'm going to reset, which makes it even more fun. So I enjoyed that. I went to my first Austrian Astronomical Society meeting, and I ran into Charles. I think he was on, I think it was Thursday Night Net, and he's the one who told me about, maybe it might have been your net, he told me about their club. And I've already been to one star party, and that was pretty awesome. Got to see some cool technology. They had 3-star parties over the weekend at different distant locations, where the sky is a lot darker. I didn't make it for various reasons, but they'll have more, and I'm really looking forward to that. And there's a lot of really nice people in that club. Just kind of reminds me of the radio club. Let's see, what are other things? Anyway, I'm looking forward to that and encourage anybody who's interested in astronomy or backyard astronomy. Austin Astronomical Society, it's pretty cool. I'm going to reset again. So radio-wise, I have a little 11-meter rig, and I haven't ever actually used it before. It's been sitting here in a box. And I actually, a few weeks ago, I ordered a 2-meter rig, and it was just coincidentally, it turns out that I think it's the same model as the one that you just got to replace temporarily, maybe, replace your Yaesu, but it's an Icon. But anyway, so I ordered some antennas, and I have a 2-meter antenna. I have 70 centimeters, but I ordered a 10-meter antenna, and I guess I can use that on 11 meters too. Now I was thinking of putting my mobile HF rig, my FT891, and then the 11-meter rig in there, and maybe the 2-meter rig too, and maybe like a little lunch box. I think maybe what you were describing, kind of what, not quite, probably smaller, but kind of what Rusty was doing. And I ordered a second-hand Motorola mobile speaker and a little a tiny little Class D audio amplifier that I'll put in an enclosure to mix those signals together from those 3 radios. I'm going to reset. But anyway, I'm looking forward to doing that. Kind of humanity is a comedy of errors. I got the 10-meter, 11-meter antenna in the mail, and the packaging was terrible, and it was like almost bent in half. I straightened it out. It's not as good as it should be, but it's usable. But it just reminds you of how crazy the world is. And the mag mount that I ordered for it has a UHF connector, PL230 on. It was defective too, so I had to send it back. So that's just the way it goes sometimes, and I'll get it working eventually. But I'm looking forward to that and building the kind of a lunchbox project with the 2-meter, 70 centimeter, and the 11-meter, and then my 891 for all the other HF bands. I haven't figured out an antenna that I'll use for those, but I want to try like 15 and 20 meters mobile too. Anyway, that's all that's going on, and looking forward to hearing other people if there's anybody after me. But as always, I really enjoy this net, Ernesto. This is N5LX. Back to you.
Very cool, man. You always have good stuff there, good stories. And your first comment, I do also enjoy hearing people. It's funny. This kind of reminds me of, I grew up listening to AM radio at a commercial, and it was usually the shows that my parents were listening to. It was just, one guy talking on the radio and people calling in to complain about stuff or just, talk about all kinds of things happening in the community. And this, for whatever reason, the first time I heard a net going on, something like this, like, this just reminds me of back in the day. So maybe that's why I enjoy the net so much. But very cool, man, and awesome on the fox hunt. And I'm with you on not sharing I've done that before, where there was not a lot of participants, and I didn't share it and use it again. But again, I've reused a couple of areas, and either we get new people that get hunting, or people just forget, and so I don't know. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised if you reuse them. The people will have the same, because I guess the first thing that goes through people's mind is like he's not going to use the same location, except obviously Rusty is the exception to the rule. But I don't know. I wouldn't say too much, but I understand if you want to hold those for to use them again. And yeah, breakfast as usual. I know it's a lot of fun. It was great seeing you there as well. And the Astronomical Society, Austin Astronomical Society, that's pretty nice. I always wanted to go to one of their events, but for whatever reason, I always find out after they're gone. And I think you're talking about KJ5BLC. He called yesterday to the Elmer's Net. I think he was talking about that too. So Very cool, man. Yeah, I would love to do that. And the radio that you got, the 2 meter, 70 centimeter Zulbander, it's an ICOM IC2730. I was gonna say, if you need the cable to program the radio, let me know. Bill gave me he gave me a radio, the 2730, and then he gave me also all of the things, all the fixings. So I have that. I have the cable in case you need to use it. That was Bill K5BB. He hooked me up with that. And on the 11 meters, do you have sideband capabilities on your 11 meter radio? Back to you, Sky.
Yeah, this is N5LX again for ID. To digress just for a moment, you're mentioning the radio, listening to AM radio, presumably when you were younger. I grew up in the Chicago area, and back in the 60s, AM radio, that was it, and it was great. And there were radio personalities, so you knew to tune in at a certain time so that you could hear the DJ that you really liked, and they would usually, you'd figure out one that had the same taste in music, or maybe that was just entertaining. But you could ask Medea about that, because I think she grew up in that area. The station I think everybody used to listen to, the younger people, was WLS. And it was in the 60s. I mean, it was like rock and roll, or the early stages of rock and roll. But anyways, I have a bunch of programming cables, but thanks for that. I may not have one that works, so I might take you up on that. And the 11 meter rig, I actually think it's either similar or maybe the same one that you have. It's been sitting in a box. I haven't ever actually used it. But, it has sideband. And when I got it a while back, I did unlock it, so I can use it on 10 meters too if I want. But, I don't know, that's all. If you haven't gone before, I'll try to maybe keep you updated on the star parties, because I think it's something that you would enjoy, and I think anybody in our club, especially if you just go to one, that's enough so that you can kind of see the technology. I'm going to reset. To just touch on it briefly, the reason I thought it was really fascinating and fun is I didn't really expect it. I mean, I know there's CCD, video sensor technology. Everybody knows about that, and DSLR cameras and stuff, but I didn't realize that with filters and with those really fast video sensors, even in a city like Austin where there's a lot of light pollution, in the summer when there's haze, and then there was a fire out south with smoke in the air and all that light pollution, with the software that they have that stacks the images, I think they were using like 100 millisecond exposure time and then taking successive exposures. And those really sensitive video sensors, the first few pictures were a little noisy, but after a minute or two, it was like looking at a picture out of a textbook, and they were like gas clouds and nebula and galaxies and all kinds of stuff, and I had no idea that was possible in real time. So you might enjoy it, or anybody listening, if you get a chance, check out the Austin Astronomical Society. They host star parties for the public. Whenever they have forecasts, they can tell when the skies are going to be clear. But check it out. This is N5LX. Back to you.
N5WRW.
I just wanted to go as well, but yeah, we always are the last one to find out about those things. It's been like 2 years. I found out about those events through ham radio, so it's been over 2 years of me saying the same the same thing. But well, cool, man. And back to the 11 meter radios. I didn't know you have a Lincoln. There's a lot of activities. I'm gonna ping you when the bands are up, and so that you can jump in. Well, yeah, I guess you still have to wait for your antenna. I had something similar happen to like the antenna. You see the long antenna you see in my truck. I ordered when it came in. The the whip was all bent, and I have to go in and straighten up. I mean, the branches in Austin, Texas have make sure that it's all back to bent, looking funny. But same issue with the shipping. It came in and I didn't know it was going to work, but it's the problem with the antennas. And I'm also thinking about, funny, we need to talk. I'm thinking about putting my FT891 in my truck, but I'm still going back and forth on the antenna. I already ordered the mount, but I'm going back and forth with the antenna because I don't know if I just want to put an antenna for 40 meters or if I'm going to regret that afterwards and I'm going to wish that I had put a little ATAS antenna, the one that you could put with the 891 and it covers all of the bands and it's just automatically tune itself, the antenna. So going back and forth on that one. Have you ever had a screwdriver type of antenna in your vehicle? Back to you, Sky.
Before I answer that, I think Dwight was in there. Maybe you wanted to make a comment.
Yeah, sure thing. This is N5WRW. I remember WLS very well. When I was a kid, I had a really old AM radio that had tubes in it, and I'd leave it on all night on WLS. And I remember Larry Lujak was one of the guys I heard. The reason it's WLS is because it was started by Sears and Roebuck, and it stood for World's Largest Store.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I used to listen to that when I was a kid. I mean, everybody did. And I remember Larry Lujak. I remember all that stuff. And the songs back then the style was quite different from what you hear on the radio now. It was mostly, I think, what young people might consider like folk music, because it was mostly melody that you heard, and people would sing along, if you can believe that. But yeah, WLS, I didn't know that about what it stood for. That's interesting. Reset.
Yeah, back in the early days, they would let people pick. They would let people pick call letters if they were available that matched something. Like where I grew up near South Bend, they have WSBT, which is South Bend Tribune, the paper, and of course the NBC affiliate is WNDU, Notre Dame University.
That's pretty cool. Well, I still occasionally listen to AM radio at night, although the programming is not generally what I listen to, but I still kind of get a kick out of hearing a distant station coming in. I was to digress a little bit. To answer your question, Ernesto, I haven't researched HF mobile antennas yet, so I don't know. I never heard of a screwdriver antenna, but just kind of skimming over the HF mobile antennas I've seen, they look kind of expensive, but I guess, you got it. If you want to do HF mobile, I guess it would be worth the investment if you want to actually talk to somebody. Yeah. I could do the Fire Sticks and go that route, and that's a lot cheaper. And again, I might do that and just get like one with I can get the resonator for 20 and another one for 40, which are I'm guessing the two bands that I'm going to be working with mostly. But I know those screwdrivers. It's the one that looks like a really thick cylinder, and that cylinder goes up and down, and it's got a little whip on top of that cylinder. Those are the screwdrivers. One's a big coil. Because then with those one, you can just, usually you can do probably like 80 to 10. I'm guessing with those, or maybe 40 to 10. I haven't looked at the specs on those, but I don't see myself doing 80 meters mobile. But I don't know.
that's the final decision if I'm going to go with the screwdriver antenna or if I'm going to go with a 20 and 40 and just that. I'm still debating. Where do you spend most of your time on HF? Back to you, Sky.
Well, first, this is N5LX. The antenna, I'm just guessing, but I'm looking at a picture of one. I haven't read anything about it yet, but is it tunable? Is that why it's so expensive? Maybe you tune it remotely or something?
All flavors. They have some that you could tune with your hands, and then they have another ones that you have to have an unit that would tune it. You have to, press it and press the band that you want to use, and it will tune it. And then they have the ATAS, ATAS. It's a brand that they built, and they work with a bunch of the Yaesu radios, and you don't have to have that unit. The radio's got a chip or something. I don't understand because that's not you would probably know what it is, but the radio, you just switch the band and the antenna automatically starts to move and it tunes to the band that you're trying to use. That's the ATAS with the Yaesu radios from what I've seen, and that seems pretty cool. Back to you.
Yeah, it's I guess I just need to research it a little bit. It sounds like there's quite a few different antennas available. I'll have to figure it out. I mean, back in the 70s, after I got out of high school, my dad had an FT301, 100-watt analog HF rig. It was an amazing radio. And he had a little Hustler antenna that you could, you'd have to set it up beforehand. It had different attachments, but you could set it up for different bands. And I used it mobile once, like just with the radio sitting on the seat. And the antenna mounted on the bumper, I used it on 20 meters and it worked great. It wasn't expensive or fancy or anything, so I don't know. But I'll look into those. Probably end up with something where I can use a mag mount or maybe clamp it to one of the luggage rack bars. But yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I guess that's about it. I can't think of anything else. This is N5LX. Back to you.
Yeah, right on, man. Yeah, same here. I'm going to start installing everything, and then I'm going to leave the antenna for the end, and I'll make a decision. I'm sure the price tag might make me go the cheapest route, because if you don't pay attention, this ham radio could get really expensive. So I don't know. Again, I spend most of the time on HF on 40, so I might just get a 40-meter antenna and call it a day. I still have 10 and 11 and 2-meter and 70 centimeter in the truck. So, well, very cool, Sky. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, that's about it. I've already hogged a lot of time, but enjoyed listening to everybody, and maybe there's somebody else out there. This is N5LX, and thanks again for hosting this awesome net, Ernesto.
Well, you bet, man, and thanks again for checking in. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I hope you have an awesome week. And all right, well, let me do a quick idea here. This is a Weekend Wind Down Net hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. I wonder if Pat's still listening. W5WTH, are you still around by any chance? Well, sounds like Pat went out to get his coffee. He was listening from Puerto Rico through Echoing, so that was very neat. He posted a message on Discord. All right, let's see, 8:40. I think I should call it a night here and start talking about other things, because the other net is starting in about 20 minutes. So, all right, well, before I do that, let me read you a list of the local nets so that you can stay radioactive throughout the week. We started the Mondays with 4 nets, y'all. We are a busy community here. We have the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club 6-meter Monday. That's on the 50.125 megahertz frequency at 8 p.m. All of these nets are 8 p.m. on Mondays, by the way. The Williamson County Amateur Radio Club Newham net, that's on the 146.640 repeater. The weekly YL net, that's on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system at 8 p.m. And the Texas A&M University Amateur Radio Club Information and Training net, and that's on the University Link repeater system. On Tuesdays, we have 2 nets. We have the Oak Hill Southside Simplex hosted by Ray, K5BZI, that's on the 146.555 frequency at 8 p.m. And that is Simplex. That means if you're in Newham, we're not using a repeater for that one. So it's antenna to antenna. So it's a fun one to check how far your radio can get you. Again, that's on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. And if you tune in and you don't hear anything, sometimes the guys take a break, they're talking, it's a round table, and sometimes it goes silent for a little bit, so you call out, and the guys, chances are they're monitoring the frequency. So again, 146.555 at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. Also on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. we have the Absolute Tech Net. The Absolute Tech Net comes out through the Oak Hill repeater system, again at 8 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Net. That's on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system. Again, that's at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. On Thursdays, we have 2 nets. We have the Oak Hill CW Net hosted by Pat, W5WTH, and that's on the 3.532 megahertz frequency. Again, that's at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday. You don't have to be a good CW operator to participate in that net. You can use a computer to send or to listen to. There's a couple of apps that you could download to help you decode CW, and one of them, the one that I use here, is called Morse Expert. Morse Expert, it's free. You can download that. You can sit it next to the radio speaker, and it will decode you what the guys are talking about. So go and check it out. And CW is not that difficult once you get started. And then on Thursdays at 8 p.m., the Oak Hill Thursday Night Net, hosted by a different operator every week. That's on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system. Again at 8 p.m. On the last Friday of the month, I'm starting a new net this month. It's called the Traveling Tackle Net. I'll go to your house, and we'll run the net from your shack. I have Rusty invited me to go and do the August one at his house, and I have Randy, KC3NAG, also for September, so we should be having a lot of fun with that one. So that's the last Friday of the month, starting this month. On Saturdays, we have 3 nets. We have the K5LBJ News and Information Net. That's on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system. That starts at 10 a.m. on Saturdays. On Saturdays also, but at 7 p.m., the Austin Amateur Radio Club Elmer's Net, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW, and that's on the 146.940 megahertz repeater at 7 p.m. And then after that one on Saturday is the 220 megahertz Guys Original Preservation Net, hosted by Steve, KB9DSQ, and that's on the 224.100 megahertz repeater at 9 p.m. And if you don't have a 220 megahertz radio, you can use Echolink, and you can connect to WM9W-R. That's Whiskey Mike Niner Whiskey-Romeo. It's a great net on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. On Sundays, we have also 4 nets. Boy, oh boy, do we stay busy or what? We have the Austin Amateur Radio Club 10-meter weekly net. That's on the 28.410 megahertz at 3 p.m. And if you are a technician, you can participate on this net. This is on the technician portion of the 10 meters. That's again 28.410 at 3 p.m. every Sunday. Sometimes we get people from outside of the United States check into that net, so check it out. It's a fun one. At 7 p.m. on Sundays, we have the Travis County Aries Weekly Net. That's on the 147.360 megahertz repeater at 7 p.m. After that one, we have this one, the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by me, Ernesto, KI5PZN. And this is on the University Link Repeater System and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Repeater System. And coming up in 15 minutes is the Austin Amateur Radio Club SWAPnet, hosted by Jeff, M5MNW, and that's on the 146.940 megahertz repeater at 9 p.m. So don't forget and go and check that one out. Don't forget to go to m5oak.org to check the calendar for the DMR machine. We have nets almost every night, and also you'll see the calendar for all of this. On the calendar, you'll see all of this nets that I just told you about. Well, let's get a count on tonight's check-in. We had 6 check-ins tonight, so thank you, and I would like to thank each and every one of you guys for checking in. And that was Dwight, that was Paul, Kai, Jim, Johnny, and Sky. Thank you so much, guys, for checking into tonight's net. All right, well, thank you for joining me tonight on the Weekend Wind Down Net. I hope that even if your weekend was a bust, and definitely if it was a blast, that we all keep the momentum, focus on the positive, and here is to a great start to your week. Thanks again to Kyle, KA5D, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club and 50AK for letting me use the repeater system to run this net. To learn more about the University Link Repeater System, please visit ka5d.com. If you would like to learn more about the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, including how to become a member and how to join the club's Discord server, please visit n5oak.org. I'm Ernesto, KI5PZN, and from my QTA here in East Austin, Texas, 73, and thanks again for participating and listening tonight. The system is now returned to regular amateur use. Good night, y'all.
KI5PZN, this is N8IJ.
Hey man, what is going on? How's the weekend treating you?
It's going well, Ernesto. My ham clock is on Hispanic time, so I'm checking in at 7:30 p.m. punctually, Hispanic time.
I thought that didn't apply in Europe, so I guess that's international, a global thing. How was your weekend, man?
Oh, it was, it's always great, you know, mostly spending time with the family, but I was unpacking some stuff from storage, and sure enough, my Yaesu FD991 popped up, which is a great receiver, but transceiver, but doesn't fit in my RV. So I ordered a Nikon 7300, and today I had 2 toys show up. My Tektronix 500 megahertz oscilloscope and my antenna VNA. So I'm a happy ham radio right now.
Very cool, man. So what are you gonna do with the other radio, with the 991? Are you just gonna keep it on your shack, or you're selling it, or what's the plan? And the other one that you buy, the 7100, aren't they almost as big? Back to you.
Well, the Yaesu one, which is just my old one, I'm going to keep in my base. So that's not going to go in the RV. But the ICOM 7300 is, by comparison, tiny. but it's amazing all the things it has. It's like it has, remember those pen adapters you used to have? Well, it has that in a waterfall model. So it's very impressive, but it's really light and it's tiny, and it'll fit just fine in the RV. So I'm happy.
Very cool, man. I'm glad to hear that. Very, very, very cool. Did you do any radio over the weekend? Back to you.
No, because remember I'm visiting my son, so I have to do a lot of family stuff. So it's mostly just taking out packages, and then I have to find the free time to connect everything. That'll take a few weeks. It won't be a quick thing to do. But hey, I was going to ask you, are there any good Puerto Rican restaurants in Austin?
Well, there is, and I don't know where he is right now, but there is a truck, a trailer, I guess, a trailer or truck, however you want to call it. He used to be here on MLK on the east side, but he moves around because before that he was on Cesar Chavez in Pleasant Valley. So I need to hunt those guys down because they do have really good food. It will clog your veins, yes, and all the things, but it's really, really delicious, and it's, genuine. So there's one. I just need to find where that guy is right now because it's been a while. But other than that, unless there's something new up in like Round Rock or in areas that I don't go very often, no. There used to be one in North Lamar. And I went there once, but I wasn't, I was not very impressed. So the guy was one of those little tiny school bus, the little guys, and he's got like the Puerto Rican flag. I think his entire bus is painted with the Puerto Rican flag, because why not, of course. But it's good food, man. If I can find that guy again, I will probably post it on Discord under the food channel and get all of you guys to get your cholesterol and your triglycerides way up there, because that's how we have fun. Back to you, Ignacio.
That sounds like a plan, because quite frankly, I'm missing that food. Not that I'm not enjoying the food here. The barbecue here is amazing, probably some of the best in the world. But, I miss back home stuff too. So, some empanadas and things of that nature would be really nice. And we're going to get the whole gang together, even better. Absolutely. Let's make it a party. So, yeah. Hey, Ines, I'll let you be. I just wanted to know that I just finished off, so around 8:40, and with my grandson and my son. So I wanted to do a really, really late check-in to support your net, and thank you for holding the net. All right, Ines, so I'm going to let you be. 73, you have a fine evening. Take care. N8IJ.
Hi, Ignacio. I appreciate your kind words. I have fun running this net, and I really enjoy when people come in and talk, because I do not have a whole lot of things to say, because I don't live an exciting life, and you guys do. So I have a good time always listening to you guys. So thanks again for calling in and checking in. And it was good seeing you at breakfast on Saturday, and hopefully we'll bump again next week, or if not, on the radio. You take care, Ignacio. This is KI5 PZN.
Kilo Alpha 5 Delta here with a food truck recommendation.
All right, Kyle.
Hey, Ignacio, you were asking about Puerto Rican food, and yeah, the place that Ernesto was talking about, it was called Chaco's on North Lamar, but I think they're closed now. But Venezuelan food is a good substitute. They have empanadas y arepas y otras cosas. And there's a really good one, food truck that's been around here for 10 years, and it's right near the intersection of 49th and Burnett in a parking lot of a place called Mr. Cassette. And I recommend them, because they're really nice. They got good food, and they might be what you're looking for. Kilo Alpha 5 Delta.
Hey, Kyle, it's Ignacio, N8IJ. Hey, thanks for that recommendation. Hey, Ernesto, let's do it. Let's get the gang together, you know, whoever can show up, let's do a party and hit there like instead of the pizza night, let's do Venezuelan night, maybe like on a Wednesday or something. Man, that would be great. That would be a lot of fun. Back to net.
That'll be fun for sure. I closed the net already, so you don't have to be formal with me. I appreciate it though. Right on, Will. I was thinking about doing another get together, probably not this week, but the following week. I was waiting for Rusty to get back in town, and that way we can get both of the clubs, and that'll be easier. The plan was to go to a bigger place in South Austin, bigger than the last one that we went to, because it was a little bit tight. But that doesn't sound like a bad idea either. So if we don't do it this next time, we'll put it on the list, because yeah, Venezuelan food, it's delicious. I had it, and that place that Kyle was saying, they have other trailers over there, other food trucks, and there's a guy there who sells hot dogs, Sonora hot dogs, and I don't know if it's just from that area or northern Mexico or an area that I'm not familiar with, but those hot dogs, oh my God, I think the wiener is already deep fried with wrapped in bacon, and they put so many things. Like one hot dog is probably like 5,000 calories, but it fills you up, obviously. But I had it once, and I never went back because I wanted to live a long life, and I think those hot dogs will clog my veins and will put me on a second stint. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in that area. I forgot. Thanks, Kyle, for bringing it up. But there's a bunch of really good eating in that particular spot. So we'll put it on the list for sure. And thanks, Kyle, for sharing that information. This is KFI PZN.
Hey, Kyle, Ernesto, it's time for me to play with my grandson, my favorite thing to do every day. So I'm going to let you guys be 73 to both of you, and we'll catch you next time. Take care, N8IJ clear.
Okay, have a good one. Nos vemos otra vez. N8IJ, KA5D73.
Good night, Ignacio. Y buenas noches, Kyle. It's KFI-PZN, I'm on QSY to the 146940.
Good night.